Um, it just reminds me of an act of something. You will. So you're stating you're going to do something, and that act is to sing. Singing, by definition, means making musical sounds with the voice, especially with words set with tune. It's going to be another 2-part video because my somehow went out of the video. So the things that you vocalize in a certain way should be of mercy and judgment. So things that you vocalize about it. What does mercy and judgment mean? Compassion and forgiveness towards someone who is within the power of whom with his one power to punish or harm. So mercy, in order to give mercy, you have to be able to already be held like in a position of power to basically punish someone else. So in other words, God's the person that could give mercy. So it's like giving mercy to someone else in our own lifestyle. We ain't in the power to do so. That's interesting. Judgment obviously is to judge something. But judge a public official appointed to decide, no. Ability to make considered decisions, or sensible conclusions. And so, singing, vocalizing on being in a power to be compassionate with someone when you could punish them. Vocalizing on how you go about making decisions that are sensible to someone, right? And then and you're doing that to the Lord and telling, oh Lord, I will sing. So that makes me think about when you're supposed to like praise God, because to me this is seem like you're saying you're gonna take this action of doing these things, of vocalizing in a certain kind of manner how things in your certain life could be gone a certain way. You could be punished a certain way because you don't hold up power in that position, but that wasn't the case. And then a certain situation was, considered a different kind of way and sensible and out of fairness. Maybe not fairness. So you're singing and vocalizing that to God, and then reconfirming that you're doing that. It just, if anything, it just gives just a sense that, when you're praising God, you're just basically kind of acknowledging all of the times that God has shown you that mercy. There are times where you have actions that have consequences that don't happen to you because a person in higher position chose not to do that to you and considered an conclusion based off your actions. So praising God for not allowing us to go down a certain path. Well, for me, I just went to the club the other day, right? I drank before I got there, and by the time I got to the club, I wasn't drunk at all. I was sober, right? Before I left the house, I was thinking about if I wanted to drink alcohol anymore, because I've been off of it for a very long time. Like, I barely drink my wine like that now. And the thoughts that I had was just being vulnerable. It puts you in a vulnerable state that I was thinking, man, I don't want to be in. You know, typically people, when they're drunk, things happen because they have, you know, changed their state of position to, you know, be different, in a different position. And I considered that and was kind of worried about that. And yeah, I was just sitting like downstairs, like, I don't know about this anymore. I don't like the idea of being this, but I'm trying to go outside and I want to do things. And I felt a little buzz when I was at home because I made the drink myself. It was great, actually. I still have some. But do I really want to put myself in the vulnerable state like that? And I just felt kind of like the thought just ran through my head, and this like guilt and like weird feeling of not really wanting to do that, but still doing it anyway. And when I went out, I just, you know, didn't feel alcohol at all. And I didn't get more either. So I got on the bus, and then this lady basically was just like talking smack. And I think she was mouthing how she would mess me up. And then she put this umbrella up. So I'm just thinking, what if she hits me? I might have to fight this lady. But she didn't. I got myself on the train and got where I needed to go. Perfectly fine, one piece and condition. I get there and I'm like, I don't really know how I feel about it, but I like the vibe because it was a pop vibe. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't secular music, so maybe that was good. But some of them songs I had peeped languages, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that. And I need to probably recheck the lyrics of some of these songs, because I was excited about going to this. Because in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I found a club that seems like a good vibe, that isn't giving weirdness, and like, you know, not being worried about being in a bad place. But then, yeah, no, that was that. But I was just like, okay, I'm trying to stick it out and socialize. Even though I didn't socialize, y'all know me, I'm a girl. I stood on a wall. I definitely stood on the bar little counter thingy and leaned up against it the entire time, just for the time that I was there. I got there at 11, well, more like 10, 40 something. And it started at 10. I made it, got there, and stood there and danced the entire time because they closed at 2. I left before 2 though. There was a guy that walked in. He just looked very handsome, and I just was like taken aback by how good he looked. So I was like occasionally staring at him. That's a story time that I could get into. Long story short, that man took me home actually. He was nice enough to do so. Normally that's something that I wouldn't do though, like getting into a stranger's car. I don't do that, but something just gave me the feel like normally I am very strict, a hard no. Because the guy last time I went to a club 2 weeks ago from that as well, trying to socialize, and everything went wrong that night. And I just kept thinking, this is why I don't do this. Stay at home. I want to be at home. I was at home thinking I want to be at home. And I'm just like, yeah. And I was excited for this one, so I didn't feel that same vibe. But when I got there a few weeks ago, it was more like an Afrobeat thing. And like, some turkey music, which is what, the city listens to now or whatever. Or what Illinois, Chicago does. Not even Illinois, Chicago. This is what like the nation does, like that kind of music. They were playing that in Afro beats because you could tell it's a lot of Nigerians. It was a Nigerian, like African spot where people that are from African descent go to shake their booties. I met this guy. I haven't texted him back either, but he offered to take me home and I turned him down. Even though I was thinking I should have taken a ride to save money because I didn't want to spend money. And I'm just like, you let him buy you a drink, might as well let him take you home. I was like, nah. And I told him, I was like, I don't know you. And my mindset was, I'm going to stand on business. Like, no mean no, nigga. And he bought me a drink. He was also really kind, though. Like, he didn't touch it. He paid for it. And then, like, he stepped back to let me grab it and everything. So, like, I appreciated that. Because I was watching the man make the drink the entire time. Eyes on the drink. And then if he would have picked up that cup to give it to me, I wouldn't have taken it. He would have been pissed because it's like, you just wasted your money on a drink, nigga. I wasn't going to take it, but he didn't touch it. He stayed with me for the good chunk of the night, just to be kind. Because, like, when he first started to talk to me, he found out my age. He was older than me by some change, And he was like, oh, damn, I respect you. You probably wouldn't talk to me, huh? And I was like, no. He was like, okay, I respect it. But he did stand by me the entire time. But I was like, you ain't got to babysit me. He's like, no. He ended up hitting on one girl, but he came back. But that night, I didn't let him take me home, even though I felt like I probably could have. Because some guys are kind and actually just will take you home. But I don't know. I'm a female, and that's a no. That's a hard no. Because men don't always have the best interest at heart. For women, how many stories of people being kind and whatnot, and next thing you know, the girl ends up on the news. And I don't think that would happen to me, but I'm also not gonna risk that either. My name and soul got a time mark on it, and I ain't trying to make it because of that either. So with this guy that took me home, I don't know, like I was looking, it's not sizing him up. I was thinking it was like I could tell him no, and I would strictly say no without question, but for some reason, there was a small part of me that was just like, I don't want to tell him no. I think I was just tired. Like, it wasn't that I was, like, tired or, like, I couldn't walk or my feet hurt. It was my shoes around my ankle part was scraping up because I got these cute azalea wing boots. And around the ankle part right here was scraping up against the boot. And it was just painful and I was ready for it to end. So I was willing to take the ride. That's probably that was the only thing that was hurting. And so me and this guy was walking around for hours after, like, leaving the club. So, like, I feel like if we wouldn't have done that, if I would have never walked with that man, I would have just walked to the train station, got on the train, and got home. But I got a ride home. And to bring that back to my point, I could have been in a position whereas it wouldn't have been a night, whereas I could have came home safely. And I did. That's something to vocalize and be like, hey, you allowed me to come home safe in one piece, untouched. You allowed me to be sober the entire time. Or not sober, but just not like how I normally would feel alcohol for a minute before it goes away and the headache. It just felt, I don't know, I wasn't buzzed at all. But I just felt like it was for a reason. And for that, you allowed me to not be too far from a good state of mind and to be protected is what it felt like. So that's to vocalize, hey, because normally drinking has consequences, physically and spiritually. And it just felt like I was being protected. Who's to say, now that I think about it, who's to say that if I would have gotten on a train, something crazy, because I didn't even check no news recently today either. What if something or somebody was on the train that I would have ran into that would have put me in harm's way? You know? Because normally when stuff like that occurs, that'd be the case. Because letting a nigga take me home is a hard no. Hard no. Automatic no. I don't care if we vibing. The answer is no. Because I'm a girl. But I allowed this man to happen. I had a thought like, it just feels like you'll be okay. Even though I think I'd be okay each time a man has offered before. Like, there's been any time a man has offered to take me home from, like, stuff like that, I felt fine about it. But I wasn't going to do it either way it would go. I still was going to say no. And none of them ever, like, argue back either. They'd be like, I understand. I get it. Some of them would be like, hey, would you take this down, though? Like, just to let me know you got home safe, though, because my reason for asking is for XYZ. The man from a few weeks ago said the same thing. He's like, well, will you take my number down? I'm finna head out. Take care. Text me, though. That wasn't his reasoning, but his reason was hanging out, but again. But I've had people that have done that, you know. And just so just basically declaring you gonna acknowledge is what it feels like, this alignment, just like basically saying you are acknowledging the things that God does. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. So funny. When I read this morning, I was just like, well, clearly I'm not doing that. I think I also read this when I went out the day before too. Oh, when will thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Making good decisions. I felt personally, when will thou come unto me? It's just waiting for specific cues or like notes and notions in the voice of the Lord. But at the same time, it also makes me think, if like judging off the next sentence in the second line, I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. When they come unto me, it just sounds like modern day, like, oh yeah, when Jesus come, I'm good. I'm gonna be stepping into this in a perfect manner because Jesus has perfect ways. And when when you finally have him like there, you move different. It's like stepping into your place, like just with a perfect heart. Perfect heart, just, I don't know how to describe it, but just thinking about like renewal, eyes on the prize type thing. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. So, not partaking into things that you ain't got no business doing. When I tell you, I read this before I went out yesterday, and then I read it again this morning. Trust me. Imagine drinking alcohol and then about to go party when reading this. Yeah. The fact that I'm even verbally stating it, it's just like I don't want to. But, I mean, hey, being honest, I don't like it. What I don't like is that I also enjoyed myself that night. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't feel as... There's been places where I walked in and would be like, yeah, this is definitely a no. A clearly wrong place for me. But this place, I ain't saying that this wasn't a no for me either. Like, it was more enjoyable. It was the music was a nicer vibe, which made it enjoyable. Plus the boy, but it wasn't really about the boy. It was just the vibe of pop music, I listen to pop music growing up. So like going to a club that has this upbeat vibe that's not like full on EDM or like full on trap music that seems and is obviously aggressive. I think that's what made it so attractive. But there's also things that I can get myself into that will give me the same feeling. I just have to find them. Because being in a club, that's not something I want to do. I would like to go to like maybe lounges and stuff like that. But not necessarily a full-on nightclub. But I appreciated that one. I got to sit down at some point. I have like clean couches. So, rubber ones though. So like, not sitting into no weird stuff. A forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. So not associating yourself with that or people that at the heart solely, represent those things. Not perfect. I did things like that this is describing. However, I don't think, I praise going to the club. And I think there are people that do that. I don't think I've encountered them yet, thankfully. But I don't want to, because if I were to, it would disappoint me. Because I still feel like I live a little naive. And then I get my bubbles bursted when finding the world. I don't know, stuff happens and people hold value to certain things. And I don't believe in the bad that happens in the world, some of them. And then when I found out that some bad things in the world actually do exist, it's just disappointing to, but so I don't, for heart depart from me, just removing yourself from certain vibes and situations. Whose privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. I know slander means to talk bad. Him that hath a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. So don't think of yourself as too goody two shoes, maybe, and then talk bad about the next person. Oh, I didn't even think about that, huh? But privily slandereth his neighbor was first. So privily, I don't remember what that meant. Once upon a time I knew what a lot of these words meant, but some of these words I do know what it means, but I'm just searching up anyway. Confidentiality or in secret. So don't secretly slander their neighbor. So secretly, I think somebody just messaged me. I don't know yet. Ain't nobody important. Don't nobody care about me except for my creator. The action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. Making false and damaging statements about someone. So, confidently or secretly slandering or making bad reputation and bad speak about a person. So, talking smack that will harm a person's rep. You cut off people like those. Let's look up proud. How about that? Feeling deep pleasure, satisfaction. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they dwell with me. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. I'm not sure the speaker of this script. Mine eyes. I feel like eyes are something that you use for vision. I keep tripping. I'm tired, I think. Or maybe your focus should be upon faithful of the land. faithful, remaining loyal, steadfast. Your focus on where you look should be whatever is loyal and steadfast of where you reside or land, that they may dwell with me. You're dwelling with something, or dwelling. Doesn't that also mean to reside? Yeah. Move in or at a specified place. Nice. My focus should be upon the things that are loyal of the land, that they may live with me. To me, it's giving a sense of, focusing on your focus. I'm trying to say something else before I get to the main point. The main point is, like, your focus should be on God. Focus on what's pouring into you. God's pouring into you. And is remain loyal to you. And that's where you need to be loyal to. So that they may dwell with me. I feel like it's a vice versa thing. If the Lord was talking, it's just like, I'm pouring into people that are pouring into me so they can be with me. They live with me, dwell with me. And then if it's in the person saying, they're focused on who's faithful to them or focused on the Lord, so that God is always like kept close with them. I feel like when people are really close to God, they have deeper conversations with God and like can hear God clearer and just resides within. Like, your relationship with God is spiritual. You have a soul. You have an internal thing that isn't specifically physical. Like, you can't visually like see a soul, but you can still visually see a soul. And God will live within you. He that walketh in a perfect way. So a perfect way, I'm not even gonna look up the definition. Perfect way is with the Father. Case close to that. So people that are close with the Father, He shall serve me. You're serving something, presenting something, helping, handling. Let's look up serve too. It means to serve, perform duties, services to a person or organization. Basically focus on me and you can do things for me. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. Basically things that you shouldn't be doing. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all the wicked doers from the city of the Lord. So, basically, there is God's already, working on His kingdom. God is already gonna get rid of the evildoers and all the negativity that He don't want in His circle. And that's 101 Bible thought. There's a bug that I was about to go try to kill. You know what? I think I'm tripping. The light switcher. It's on. Basically, hold on. Get the light fixture because I think buggies and things have been chewing and involving. Involving themselves. Yeah. And so now it just glitches. And it's annoying because it makes me think I see stuff. So that was the Bible talk right now. Or thoughts, not talk. And I'll get some water. And I feel like typing out these notes because I don't know what to say. Either gonna watch TV, it's almost 12. I don't go to bed. Yeah. Yeah. I really got a lot of sleep today. So I'm pretty tired. Bye.